Hi guys, it's the 16th episode of Promptsquad, and for this month's prompt we were following the hashtag HomeArtApril, which was created by two of our members, Dave and Emily. Sadly, I had to pick just one of the prompts, but lots of members, old and new, were able to complete the challenge, and I made sure to feature their favourite work at the end, so please stay on and see all the wonderful artists who took part in this month's Prompt Squad. You probably guessed if you've been following me for a little while now, but the prompt I ended up picking was Beatrix Potter. I was lucky enough to visit her home up in the Lakes a few years ago, and it's such a great little cottage to go visit. I'd really recommend it. Plus the town nearby has a lot of her art and a lot of artists who are inspired by her art, just creating all of these amazing things, so if you're a fan, there's a lot to go and explore. Plus, you're in the Lakes, which, is easily one of the most beautiful places on earth, so, win-win. But yeah, I loved her books growing up. Her illustrations are just so fluid and sketchy. I've always loved how her style feels like she's sketching while she's on a walk, as if she's seeing these stories take place in real life. I think it's the reason why her art still resonates so much with people today, even 100 years later. Her characters are really wonderful too, and in the past I have painted illustrations inspired by her work. The main time I'm thinking of right now is when I did a piece a few years ago, inspired by the tale of Tom Kitten, but this time I wanted to stick with the all-time classic of Peter Rabbit and put my spin on it. When I was planning this illustration, I knew I wanted to put Peter in the foreground of the image, but then still try and give it a lot of context and illustrate his sisters Mopsy, Flopsy and Cottontail too. Since working on the Beatrice Blue piece for last month's Prompt Squad, I've been trying to go back a bit in terms of my style and focus more on introducing more complex scenes into my work and more detailed backgrounds into my art too, because I do love when an illustration tells this full story, or at least enough that you can begin imagining your own story when you see it. Because of all the elements though, I was thinking a lot about different textures and how do I give this image a textured look but not replicate and use the same texture on different elements. I don't want the plants and the cobblestones or the rabbits themselves to feel the same. Do you know what I mean by that? So when I was working on textures for the rabbits, I knew I wanted to create this fuzzy-like effect. I wanted them to just look very soft, so I was using a lot of pastel brushes and just different textures from scans that I've done over time. And Dave mentioned to me in a comment that he thought they looked like, you remember those fuzzy felt toys that you used to be able to get? That's kind of exactly what I was going for, and I feel like that's the perfect description of where I was going, so that is exactly what I was trying to do. And when I came to the other textures, I tried a few different shading techniques there. These I wasn't so sure of, especially looking at them again now. I think it just takes a lot of experimentation when you're working on stuff like this, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and I guess now I know. But anyway, I had a lot of fun creating this illustration and reliving some of the good old childhood memories of reading Beatrix Potter books growing up. And yeah, I've got much more to say on it. I really hope you enjoyed seeing the process behind this piece, and now let's go have a look at some of the wonderful creations our Prompt Squad members have made during this month. Dave's favourite piece from all the prompts he made this month for Home Art April was Aquarium. Well, he had a few, but he left the difficult choice of choosing one to me, so I picked this one. I love his pointillism, just especially how Dave uses the technique in his art. It's kind of more like stippling than the, pop art, super precise, like dots of pointillism. So it really captured the life of the shark a lot more to me. It makes it all just feel more fluid, like it's actually swimming on the page. Emily's favourite was also for the prompt Aquarium, but she created this seahorse in her now surely signature tattoo ink style that she's got. I'm still waiting for the day that she starts to maybe make some of these and sell them in a shop over on Etsy, but while I'm impatiently waiting for that, I really enjoyed this drawing. The flowers are composed beautifully and in such a way that they don't distract from the creature that they are. They're more like this nice feature that you get to notice on second glance or when you look closer. Nadia's piece was for the prompt Typewriter, and I love how loose and sketchy this piece is. It reminds me of, the sketchbook art that you'll see when you visit an art museum, the work that you see accompanying the massive oil painting that'll be next to it and where this inspiration was born. And I like that. I really like seeing this sketchier stage, and, in a lot of ways I prefer it, so I really enjoyed this piece. We have quite a few new members of Promptsquad this month, and I can't wait to introduce you to them and show off some of their work. Lisbeth created this beautiful watercolour and ink illustration for the prompt Friend. It was what I was talking about earlier, this snapshot of a story feel in her art, where this sweet cat character is holding her friends close in the form of her phone. And with everything going on at the moment, has anything felt more true in a piece of art? I really love this illustration. I just think it's very sweet, but still kind of poignant and making a point. Far Photos joined me in choosing Beatrix Potter illustration as her favourite piece for Home Art April, and I think you can clearly see why. You can see this inspiration of Beatrix Potter's work in her work, but it's clearly in her style too, which I always love to see. The pencil work and the shading is really lovely and smooth, and the mouse has lots of different textures too, without getting that kind of messy blur that you can get with pencil that I definitely would have achieved, but I love how crisp her piece is. Troy Palmer created this stunning ink illustration for the prompt Relaxing. The sharp blacks and whites on this tan card background that he's used makes it really pop out and catch your eye. Even though he's really kept his colour palette limited, the amount of detail that he's made in his line art really helps you distinguish all these different elements of the composition, and it doesn't blur the foreground or background at all. You can see clearly where everything is and really see how it builds up in the composition. I really enjoy that level of detail in his work. Mistress Ink created a wonderful pencil illustration for the prompt Owl. I love how she gave the owl a lot of character and has it waving to us as the viewer. And because the composition flows up the page, it really brings your eye up to that waving wing as you're first looking at it. But then you're kind of brought back down to notice all these other little details in her work, like the little heart on the wing and these strong amber colours of the eyes. I love when art can, show you a little bit more every time you look at it. And last but never least, we have Sakura, who created this fantastic illustration for the prompt Delicate. I love her use of this soft blur on the background because it really does give this motion and tension to the illustration. It's such a clever way to show this delicate action that the character's doing. And the character himself is just fantastic too. It gives me this Gravity Falls-like vibe. Very cute, but a little bit awkward too. Exactly how I like my characters. It's just a fantastic job. And there we have it. I can't believe just the amount of wonderful work that was created for Home Art April. This really is just kind of a drop in the ocean, so please make sure to follow all of the artists who took part and check out their social medias. They were on screen and stuff, and you can see more of their art and the work they created for this challenge, and before that, the links are always in the description too. So all that's left really is to reveal what next month's prompt is, and I've gone a little bit rogue and I've made it up this time, but if you have a suggestion for the next prompt that we do, make sure to go leave a comment or message me with it too. But this month's prompt is happy. With everything going on and how long it's all been going on too, I thought it might be nice to try and keep the prompt pretty simple and open to interpretation and, happy. So draw something inspired by the word happy. Maybe it's something that makes you happy. Maybe it's what that word means to you. Maybe you want to make everyone else happy and create a piece of art like that. I don't know. It's all up to you. take on the prompt, see what you create. The deadline's going to be the 16th of June. If you'd like to join, just tag your happy art with the hashtag Promptsquad. And if you can message me or tag me in it too, that'd be great because I love to see them and it really helps me make sure that I can add it to the video. I never want to miss any of the great members out. I really hope you enjoyed this month's Prompt Squad. Good luck for this next challenge and I'll hopefully see you again soon. Take care.